about it in some of my other videos, you know, for when, like, the first book collection video, which you guys really liked. Let me know if I should keep doing the soft-spoken, because I like listening to, like, soft-spoken, and then they whisper, like, really close after. I don't know, I find it really, I don't know, relaxing. But, come on, like, first off, let's just give props to this amazing, like, cover. Like, I don't know what about it, but it's, like, so satisfying to look at, because, like, you know, it's just, like, I don't know how to describe it, like, this color goes so well with the rest of it, and it's a Penguin classic, so, like, you know, this is a reliable book you can read, and this is actually, like, the only book that I bought that wasn't, like, a used book. I got this for the full price for $20. It was a brand new book, and you can already tell that I've already beaten up this book a little bit. But look, I'm such a nerd. I put whatever these are called, tabs, at places where where there's, like, a bunch of good quotes, you know. Let me know if you guys do that too, or I'm just doing too much. But there's so many good quotes in this book. I mean, I actually might just, like, read some to you guys, but the first half of this video will be spoiler free probably, so I can read you the back, but it does not give this story justice at all. Let me tell you that. But I'll just read it. Okay, it says, the masterpiece of Steinbeck's later years, at once a family saga and a modern retelling of the Book of Genesis. In his journal, Steinbeck called East of Eden the first book, and indeed it has the primordial power and simplicity of myth. Set in the rich farmland of California's Salinas Valley, this sprawling and often brutal novel follows the intertwined destinies of two families, the Trasks and the Hamiltons, whose generations helplessly reenact the fall of Adam and Eve and the poisonous rivalry of Cain and Abel. I just got something stuck in my throat. Here's a work in which Steinbeck created his most mesmerizing characters and explored his most enduring themes: the mystery of identity, the inexplicability of love, and the murderous consequences of love's absence. So, yeah, but this is a nice, I would recommend you to buy this version if you are going to buy this book. And, of course, this book is an absolute banger. This might be my favorite book I've ever read, which is not that great of an achievement, because I haven't read too many books lately, like classics. I've probably, this is one of my first classics, but this is 600 pages, and it took me, like, about a little less than a month to finish. So do what you will with that information, but I feel like anybody can read this book who has, like, a high school reading level. I don't know, maybe even middle school probably. But I do recommend that if you're, like, really young, then I don't know if you'll like it as much, because some of the reasons why I really like this book is because the themes and the lessons, and, like, I just learned so much, and I could relate so much because of some of the experiences in my life. I mean, I haven't gone, like, the crazy, like, stuff like that, but, you know, I'll talk about the end, because the end changed everything. Like, that final page might have been the greatest page I've ever read. I'm not even gonna lie, but let me just start with saying that the main plot is, like, it's so hard to explain, because this story is mostly about the characters, you know. It's about their relationships, their actions, the consequences of their choices. And it's about love, it's about hate, it's about betrayal, and it's about life, to be honest with you. And like, it's about your choice. Your choices matter. You know, you have a choice. Everything you do is your choice, mostly. Because the main theme of this book, I don't know if this is really a spoiler, but the main theme and lesson of this book is, it's thou mayest, which is, in Hebrew, it's called Timshel, but you'll understand if you read this book. It's basically just saying that all humans have the choice. They may do good or evil, you know. Yeah, this book's mostly about good and evil, to be honest. And it's such a powerful book. Like, there's so much you can learn from this book. And it just hit me, man. So there's two families, right? And it goes down like 3 generations, I'd say, up to that. But there's like, I'd say 4 to 5 like main characters in this book, and you follow a lot of them, and you see what happens in their life. Like, it shows their backstory. Like, it goes really in detail about these characters' lives, and it's so real, you know. Like, this could have happened in real life, and I would believe it. And I really love about it is that it has a bunch of biblical themes in it, and you know, drawing, like, connecting the you know, the story with the Bible is some of my favorite parts of it, you know. Like, I'd recommend you to, like, read this carefully, because, like, you can get a lot out of this, and you know, you should probably take your time while you read this. But you know, I low-key read like in like groups of sessions of like 100 pages sometimes. But you know, you just gotta find the right time and the right moment. Like, it's hard, you know, for books. Like, of course, a book is gonna be better when you read it at the right moment in your life. But like, you obviously don't know if it's the right time in your life to read it. But honestly, I think I was meant to read this, like, at this point of my life. So I really think that God put this in my life for a reason. And truly, bro, like, I've never read a book like this. It's so like simple kind of, you know how, like, a lot of books, especially like fantasy, is like crazy, like wars and fights and, like, you know, power systems and all that. This is just a simple story about life in the 1900s, and it mostly takes place in the Salinas Valley, which is in California, and it's such a beautiful setting. And John Steinbeck is an absolute genius in how he writes, like, especially like his like analogies, like metaphors type of things, and his descriptions of like the land. It's beautiful, and it's super easy to get like immersed in this book and just picture like everything he's trying to communicate. He's really good at communicating his ideas. And bro, it's such a beautiful book. I know I'm just like straight rambling, but it's crazy. So my favorite character is probably Lee, and he's like the Asian character, of course. And he's a great character. He's probably Steinbeck, man. He was really like ahead of his time, bro. And you can honestly, like, it's, I was saying, I just remembered what I was trying to say before. It's like really easy to read, like, there's no really confusing parts, I'd say. Like, this is an old book, but the language is easy to understand. And, really the most confusing part is all the characters. Because there's so many good characters. Mostly I had trouble with following all of Samuel Hamilton's sons. I mean, and kids, children. He had like 9 children, and in the beginning I was like a little hard to remember who was who, but other than that, it's super easy to read. Like, it doesn't even feel like you're reading. It feels like you're in the book. You're experiencing this. And it's like the narrator is like John Steinbeck, basically. He puts himself in the story. And he just narrates it extremely beautifully. And now I think we're gonna go into a little spoilers, alright? Just to let you guys know how I felt about this book. Alright, before we go into the spoilers, this is a 10 out of 10 book. This book changed how I viewed so many things. And it made me cry, okay? The ending made me cry for, like, I don't even know what happened. Alright, I'm not going to talk about the ending yet, but I will say the ending made me cry for like 10 minutes. I'm not even trolling. I was honestly sobbing. It's kind of embarrassing. But it's not because the ending was like depressing or anything like that. But it's just that I just felt like it was speaking to me. Like, I just understood what John Steinbeck was trying to say. I feel like in one way, because everyone interprets books differently, of course. And this one theme just of choice, of forgiving, that really just, that hit home for me. And I was just reading, like, I wasn't expecting the ending to be nothing crazy or anything, but I just started reading the final page and tears started welling up in my eyes. I couldn't even, like, see the words. I had to, like, wipe my eyes, and then I reached the end, and I just put down the book and just stared and started, like, crying, bro. Like, started really thinking about, you know, my life and my choices, and the fact that, you know, I have a choice every day. You have a choice to do something good in your life, and some people choose to do evil. We have free will, and sometimes that just happens. You know, even though, you know, events that we can't control shape who we are, especially in our early years. You can either let that define you, or you can grow past it, and you can just. This one quote, it's probably the most popular one. It says, I forget where it is, but it says something along the lines of, now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good. You know, that's one of the most powerful quotes in this book. But, man, like, even now, I'm just getting, like, emotional, bro. Like, for me, bro, it's like really hit home as a Christian, because, you know, part of being a Christian is, you know, trying to be good, but, you know, that you can't earn. You know, you can't earn God's love. He already loves you, and the only way we can get to heaven is through his sacrifice, Jesus' sacrifice. And your actions do, like, reflect your love, the love for God, you know. But it does, your mistakes don't define you. Like, like for a while, honestly, you know, I struggled with sin, and I would like always just pity myself, and sometimes I wouldn't even forgive myself. But the last page, if you've read it, it just spoke to me, you know. And I know there's another quote. Is like when you just say like self pity yourself or like hate yourself or just say stuff to bring yourself down. It's and one of the characters says that's one of the biggest forms of self-indulgence. It's selfish to just be stuck in wallow in your mistakes, and you know, we have the choice to change it. Okay? You have the choice to change. And of course we don't have to be perfect. You know, not everything not everything we do is going to be good, you know. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's what I really just got out of this. I even wrote down in a journal of my thoughts right after reading the final page. Here's my journal. And this probably has spoilers, but I'm gonna just look over this a little bit. But yeah, I hadn't cried that much since probably last year when my family from the Philippines, they visited us for like 2 weeks, and then they had to go back to the Philippines, and that was really sad because we barely get to see them. But the ending is gonna stay with me probably for the rest of my life, and it was just that first time I read it. I don't think I'll ever, you know, fully experience that again. Maybe not even in another book, but it is up there with my favorite endings, which include Persona 3. Okay, that's a video game, but don't worry about it. But that game will change your life too. But I just love life changing, like fiction or pieces of media. You know, you can say it changes, like it can change your point of view, but the real way it changes your life is through your actions. And I just finished the book yesterday, so I can't really say my actions have, you know, changed, but I'm trying. And you know, yeah, I was basically just writing how, you know, I don't know how God can forgive me so many times, especially, you know, if you've struggled with this, like there's sins, like what's it called? The sins that you continuously fall back into. Those are painful because your flesh just the devil tries to make you blame it on yourself and to just self-pity, you know, and that can be an easy trap to fall into. But the sooner we go back in, we fall back into God's arms, the better, because he always forgives us, no matter what we do, no matter how many times we fail God. He will always forgive you, okay? And he will always love you just the same. He's the same every day. And really, that's what I was like struggling with, you know. I feel like that also played a part in me, like, you know, falling back again and again, because I didn't forgive myself. I didn't really fully accept God's forgiveness. And now I just know that God, I don't know what about it, you know, it's gonna be a different experience for you. But that's what I personally got out of this book. You know, I think I already said this, but that's the beauty of books, is our different relationships with it. You know, each person is gonna read this book differently and get something out of it. But I was just sobbing and thinking how, you know, I was selfish for just not forgiving myself and like truly like accepting myself and loving myself, you know, because I also, struggle with insecurities because I am a very quiet person, I'd say, especially around strangers. But, I would try to compensate my insecurities with the way I make myself appear sometimes, I mean, it's still something today that I struggle with, obviously. When you're a quiet person and when you're younger and you just feel like you're not, like, I don't know. Sometimes when you're younger, like in middle school especially, because I went from a private elementary school all my life to a public middle school, and I felt like, I don't know the right word, like a little inferior, for one reason or another, because, I don't know, because it's hard to explain, but I have to think about this for a minute, but, yeah, I have to let go of what people think about me, stuff of that sort, because I would care too much, and, but, I don't know where I was going with that. I kind of lost my train of thought, but if you're still listening to this, then I really appreciate you, because I've just been talking about random stuff, and I hope you guys like this, because this is one thing that other channels can't do, is talk about, like, no one, everyone has different lives, so you can't really, like, there's no, I can't talk, like, I like to, try to differentiate my channel from other channels by talking about some experiences I've had. So I hope you guys get something out of this video. And obviously I can't not teach you, but tell you how this book really just changed everything. This is what happens when you don't cut out the videos. I don't cut any of my videos out, so I'm just like on the spot. Making a channel has actually helped me a lot with, being able to talk. This is basically like me talking to myself. And, I find it really important to spend some time with your thoughts. I think that's really important. It can be scary at first, especially, if you have like a bad attention span, but I think really getting to know yourself is super important, and I don't know if other people also feel the same about it's how, like, it's hard, to really just love yourself, but it's important, especially as a Christian, you have to be able to love yourself first before you can love others, truly love others. And this book is super, just shows what true love is, what fake love is, what hatred is, and that was super powerful. Really, it was just a powerful book, and I'm gonna miss these characters, man. And a lot of characters, like their storylines, like move on in this book, and Steinbeck just frames it in a way that just shows like life keeps on going. Your life is going, all of our lives are going to end, and be thinking about is your relationships and how love, it's about love, really. Life is about loving others, and for me, science can't explain a love, okay? And it is our nature to love others, and that's why when people are moving on from this earth, they really just think about how they've loved others, who love, how people have loved them, It's important. Love isn't super important. And my pastor at church, he said something similar to this, and he was like, the only thing we're going to be able to bring to heaven is our relationship with God and our relationship with others. So that's really just also changed how I've been living lately, because now how I said I'm super introverted, but I've just had this, desire to spend as much time as I can nurturing, building, and loving others, my relationship with other people, because that's just the most important thing about this life. And just that's hard as a quiet person, but I am so blessed to have so many amazing people in my life, whether it be my friends or my family or my mentors or just anyone. And I'm just so grateful, and I want to, keep hold of those relationships, I don't want those relationships to fade away, And yeah, another thing is, no matter where you've come from or what's happened to you, we can, we can. I'm lost in the sauce, man. I don't know what I was trying to say, but honestly, it made me super comforted that this book, I can always read this book again and just remember what it taught me and how it made me feel when I first read it. So yeah, I'm just so glad I got to experience that. And after I read it, I just felt a deep peace, in my heart, in my soul, that I need to appreciate everything a lot more, because I have been so blessed in my life, and I have to show others that I appreciate them, and that I'm trying to enjoy things more, the simple things in life, they add up, especially when it's with other people, and that's one of the most fulfilling things about this life. And obviously nothing can ever fulfill you except God. So that's another thing. But I just felt like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I don't know. That I can be comfortable in my own skin. So if you've related or just learn, you felt like what I've been saying is you've gone through something similar or something, I don't know, then I highly recommend this book, because books are super powerful. I keep saying powerful, but truly. But yeah, I think that's mostly what I wrote about in here. And honestly, something that helped is music. I was listening to some music while I was reading the end of this because my sister had her friend over, so they were pretty loud, so I had my noise canceling earpods in. I was just listening to some music, and it's still just music without words, you know. Pretty sad songs, to be honest, but it made me cry for so long. But it's super important to reflect on everything. I'm lucky that I had a lot of free time yesterday to reflect on the book in my own life, and I haven't even been talking about the book. I've just been talking about my life, and honestly, it's a little scary, you know, being open and fully honest with myself and to you guys, but you know, as long as I can help anybody in any sort of way, you know, that's what is important for me and what this channel is about. So thank you for watching these videos, and if this is your first video, then I appreciate you, man. All glory to God. And yeah, I think that's gonna wrap this video up. I honestly didn't really spoil anything, so I hopefully no one was scared of clicking off because of spoilers. But I think that's everything that I have to say. I could read you some of my favorite quotes if you guys would like. But that's pretty spoilery, and I have 20 tabs, I think. So I don't know if that's a lot or not, but no other book has really made me feel and reflect that deeply, except Tuesdays with Maury. That's a great book. And some manga. I'm not gonna lie, some manga have really impacted my life also. But that's why I'm so glad to get back into reading. And I'm so glad that you guys, for you guys who like books, you can see me in my book journey, getting back into reading. And I know a lot of you guys were asking how my read of East of Eden was going. So that's why I made this video. And I don't know how it ended up being 35 minutes, but here we are. And my next book, I don't know what to pick, honestly. I know you guys said that The Book Thief was really good, but I'm pretty sure that's another emotional book, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. And I'm still kind of digesting this book, really. And yeah, I'm just so glad I bought it, you know. And if you can't afford it, then go to your library. If you're still watching, then I'm 100% sure you'll get something out of this book. So yeah, do me a favor and do yourself a favor and read East of Eden, or open up your Bibles. So thank you so much for watching to the end, and I'm gonna probably do another book video next week because I got 5 more books. So yeah, obviously, and I get all my books for cheap. You know, all the books I bought is under $5, except this one, which I got for 20. So I'll probably show you guys, and that'll be the final part for probably a while, because now I'm actually gonna start reading all the books that I've gotten. So yes, let me know if you read East of Eden, what your thoughts about the book are, and if you like the soft spoken. I don't know. And yeah, I want to keep talking, but I don't know what to talk about. But I'll see you guys in the next